Hi all, welcome to Fly Fishing with Krezza again. Today I'm doing the leaders that attach to your fly line. The last beginners video I did was on the backing and fly line. So today I was going to cover leader and tippet, but I just found so much information out there about the leader, it wouldn't be feasible to make a video about it. There's just too much information, so I'm just going to cover the leader today. Now, the leader attaches to your fly line, which comes off your reel, and there's when you pull it out of the packet, it's like in a loop like that. And what I'll do, I'll just show a video on how to unravel it without getting a bird's nest. So that video will come up now. Well, what I'm going to do here is just unravel some leader. So you just obviously remove it from the packet, and what you'll see, it usually comes in a loop like this. You've got your butt end, which is the big diameter end, which is that there, and then you've also somewhere in there is your tippet end, which is the small diameter of your leader. So probably the easiest way to unravel this so that you don't end up with a bird's nest is to like put your fingers like that around or inside the leader, and then you just unravel it like this. You just find the big end, which is your butt end, and you work out which way it's wound on, and you just unwind it. Probably wound on, I don't know, maybe half a dozen times. So you just keep that pressure on with your fingers, unwind it. Here we go, still wound. Keep going with it. Still wound. Gee, that's more than half a dozen times. But once you've unwound it, maybe I've got that facing the wrong way, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to spin it around, and now that it's unwound, I can just pull it off. So I'm just pulling the line off, as you can see, just grabbing it, and look, I'm not getting any tangles, and then that's it. I've got it all the way to the end. Just keep pulling it, and there you go. And there's your tippet end. This is a 3X tippet. So yeah, and then you can see the 3X starts to get onto the taper, and it starts to taper, and then like your butt end is your big diameter there, and there's your loop. So that's how you unravel it without getting a bird's nest. Hopefully that helps you out. Okay, so now that we've unraveled the line from the packet and we have it all stretched out and there's hopefully no bird's nest, we attach the loop end or the butt end of your leader to the fly line. And what I'll do, I'll show the correct way to do it in a video. So just watch this video and it'll show you how to do that. Yeah, so what I'm going to do now, I'm going to show you how to attach your leader to your fly line. So this is your fly line coming off your reel, and what you do is you find the loop on your leader, and there's your loop there. So what you do, this is the correct way to do it, is you put your fly line through the loop of the leader. So that's gone through the loop. You can see that. So the fly line, which is attached to your reel, goes through the leader, and then you get the end of the leader, which is the small tippet end. Just bend it over if you want, like that, and then put that through the loop of your fly line, and then just draw it through, and then just pull it tight, and there we go. That's your leader attached to your fly line, and it's pretty simple, but yeah, that's the correct way of doing it. Hope that helps. Okay, so now we've attached our leader to the fly line, and there are things we need to learn about the leader. The leader is usually rated, and it's usually an X rating. It's called X rated, and what that means is the diameter of your tippet is the X rating. So say you've got like a 3X, that will mean it's a certain diameter. The tippet diameter is a certain diameter, and it's actually the tippet that is the X rating. So some tippets will be stronger than others depending on the materials that they use to make the leader out of. So it'll vary. So as a beginner, you would start with probably a 9-foot leader, and the way the leaders are usually made, you'll have like the butt diameter, which is the big diameter. That'll probably be 30% of your actual leader. Then you'll have the taper. The taper is usually about 40% of it, and then 30% of it will be tippet. You don't need to add tippet to the tippet end of your leader. You can attach your fly directly to the tippet end of your leader. As you use the fly line, or as you use the leader and you start getting break-offs, like you get snagged or a fish snaps you off, or as you change flies, you want to swap flies for another one, that tippet end of your leader will get shorter and shorter. So what you'll need to do is you can get tippet material and you add that on, but I'll cover that in the next video that we do. So like I said, it's okay to tie your flies directly to the end of your leader on the tippet end and fish with that. You know, you could probably go, you know, like I said, 30% is your tippet material. This is on a 9-foot leader. You could probably go back, you know, close to where the taper starts before you need to add tippet to it. But like I said, I'll go into that in the next video. I'll put up a chart as well that shows the various line strengths related to the X rating of the leader, and that'll give you an idea. So, you know, it'll be on while I'm talking. So like I said, in general, a beginner would start with a 9-foot leader. You can get longer leaders that can go up to like 12 foot or even 15 foot. But these are really difficult to cast for a beginner, so I wouldn't encourage you to go to that. You can still catch fish with the 9-foot one. Usually they use the longer leaders for delicate presentations of a dry fly. That'll be like on a still water, like a lake or a river that's really flowing slowly so that you don't spook the fish. It lands nicely and your fly line's well away from the fly, so when it hits it just doesn't spook the fish. You can get shorter leaders as well. The shorter leaders you'd use them when you're fishing heavy flies, like heavy beaded nymphs or even woolly buggers. So you can go shorter. I usually, like, once my leader starts to break away and I add tippet to it, I'll just keep it short, put my streamers on that, and I'll go from there. The next thing I want to cover is the types of leaders. There are two main common types of material that they're made out of, and you've probably heard this. There's monofilament and fluorocarbon. Now, you can use both of them for dry and wet fly purposes, but there is one that's preferable to the other. If you're going to use a monofilament, that's preferred to be used with floating flies. The line actually floats better than the other type. The other type's fluorocarbon, but I'll focus on monofilament at the moment. So they float better. So they mainly use the monofilament for the dry flies. They've got a bit more stretch in them as well, but they don't have as good a abrasive resistance. And when they're underwater, the monofilament, you can see it. And the fish can see it. And I think if you're fishing a lake or a very still water, the fish have got time to look around and view your fly in the water, and it may put them off if they see the line. The other type is the fluorocarbon. The fluorocarbon, it sinks faster than the monofilament, and you use that when you're fishing nymphs or even streamers like woolly buggers or damsel flies. I tend to use the fluorocarbons a lot when I go fishing. I don't fish surface very often. I mainly fish beneath the water to catch the fish I catch. I will occasionally fish dry flies when I go out to the lakes like Moorabool Reservoir. There are some days where there's that much happening with fish rising, you just got to go to the surface dry flies. But getting back to the fluorocarbon, it's actually got less stretch than the monofilament. It's got more abrasive resistance. So, you know, if you're hitting rocks or whatever, it's really, it's a lot stronger than the monofilament. And then once you damage it, if you get onto a big fish and it's got like a little nick in it, well, you're going to lose your fish. So that's where the fluorocarbon's probably a bit better quality wise. And another bonus with the fluorocarbon, when you submerge it, you can't see it. It's clear as the fish won't be able to detect it. So with a bit of luck, all they see is your fly or your nymph under the water, and they're not spooked by the fly line being visible. The fluorocarbon generally is a bit more expensive, but you know, you've got to put that into perspective. If you want to catch fish, I'd go for the fluorocarbon. Now, like I said, you can use both for either dry or wet flies, but if you're going to use fluorocarbon for a dry fly, that dry fly really has to be buoyant. So you really want to use the monofilament for dry fly fishing, and the same goes for if you're using heavy flies. You don't want the monofilament because it doesn't sink as quick as the fluorocarbon. So I really didn't realise there was so much information out there about leaders. Hopefully I've covered what I needed to cover to make leaders a bit more simple to understand. If I've left anything out, just leave a note in the comments part. So I hope this helps a few of the beginners how to select a leader and how to attach it and unwind it from the packet. So yeah, if you enjoyed the video and it's helping you with your fly fishing, yeah, just leave a comment, and if you want, you can subscribe. So yeah, thanks for watching, and God bless. Bye.